If you had asked me a few years ago if it was possible for everything for a family of five, now a family of four still living here, to fit into this bathroom, I would have said absolutely not. This took me several years to go through, and this system finally works, but I just haven't gone through and done a maintenance declutter or a tidy up in several months, so that's what we're going to do today. I am going to show you a little bit later just how bad it used to be, but I first want to show you I have not touched these drawers or cabinets in months, and they're actually not horrible. They just need to go through. I need to get rid of a few things and kind of tidy things up again and get things back into just being a little bit more organized. But I wanted to show you that it is possible, even if you're starting off with a complete disaster in your house, if you just go through and take time to do a couple things at a time, one drawer, one cabinet, I promise you, you can get it done. This is what it started out with when my very first video, I think, was these pictures and videos. And this was what my closet looked like and our vanity looked like. It was completely full of everything, and I always thought that I had to have all of those things on hand. And this was actually going through and decluttering a couple of years ago, and you can see that I still kept so much stuff, and I thought it was all stuff that we needed. Now in our bathroom currently, we have everything that we need, and I still have backstock, and it doesn't feel crowded or too cluttered at all. So first I'm just going through and filling up my Blue Land. I absolutely love this stuff. It's not sponsored or anything, but I really just do like the cleaner. I'm trying to get away from some of the more harsh cleaners. So I like to use this, and I have it for the bathroom, an all-purpose cleaner. I use their dishwasher tabs, and I think I have some toilet bowl cleaner as well. And I'm just going to start off again. Like I said, I haven't gone through the closet in a while, so I wanted to kind of tidy things up. These white things were just kind of sitting in there, but they were not tacked down. So I used these little stickers to go on the bottom just to kind of stick them onto the wood. That way when I was putting in the towels, they weren't sliding all around. One of the biggest lessons I think I've learned through this entire journey is trying to get my house organized and decluttered the way that it works for our family. I know it's really easy to go on social media and see these videos of people organizing their homes and these large kitchens and large bathrooms and using all the acrylic bins that look beautiful and filling them all with just like the one-time items individually packaged. But for us, that's just not reality. That's not how I do things. I like to buy things more so in bulk. And some of the bins I did buy when we first redid our bathroom, like changed the vanity and the mirror and the floors. I did go out and buy a couple new bins, but for the most part, I really just repurposed other things that I had through the house. Like in the vanity itself, I just found some containers that I had lying around from old projects. They don't all match, but they do fit in the space, and I'm able to organize things the way that we need them for our family. That big bin there is my son's. We have a 16-year-old who got into more of like a skincare and hair care. So I felt it was really important at the time to make a bin for him. That way he had somewhere to kind of put all of his stuff to get ready in the morning, and it was all in one place. He could easily get to it and put it back, and it just kept things much tidier. And then I also have a small bin that I have all my makeup in. Now, if you're somebody who has a ton of makeup or hair products, I would just suggest trying to go through those and think about what you really use on a day-to-day basis. And then if you can put that into like a get ready bin, just try it out for a little while. You don't have to get rid of all of your other items that you like. Just try to see if it makes your morning routine or your evening routines a little bit easier. Just being able to pull out one bin, having everything in there that you need, and then just kind of start working through your other stuff. Like I said, we used to have so much stuff in these cabinets, and honestly, I couldn't even get to most of it. These couple bins here, I have some extra makeup and some extra first aid supplies that I am working through. They're all items that we do use, so I'm not going to throw them away. But once we're done using them, these bins will not be as full because I won't be buying them in the same in the same quantities anymore, but I am going to use them up. And I decided not to put anything back on the shelf because my son slides his big bucket in and out every day and he's just not careful about it, and that's fine. I had kind of painted the shelves a while ago, so it doesn't look horrible without the white liner on it. I just wanted to take a second to introduce myself. If you're new here, my name is Jen, and I live here with my husband and two of our sons. We have an adult son who moved out about a year and a half ago. So we just have our two teenage boys, ages 16 and 14, close to 14, still living here. And we only do have this one bathroom, which can be a little frustrating at times, especially if we have guests over. It makes it a little bit challenging to kind of maneuver the space, but we are used to it and we just kind of make do. But I can say day to day, with just the four of us here, it is fine. We are perfectly able to fit everything that we need into this space, and it has been really nice to finally get to this place. I started out decluttering, I don't know, maybe 3 years ago, close to 3 years ago. And our house used to be just a mess all the time. We had everything was full. There was always stuff left out. Our kitchen counters were full of all kinds of stuff because I couldn't fit them into the drawers or the cabinets, and I just thought that we needed more space. But in reality, I just had way too much stuff. Now, here's an example of having to sometimes change the way that you're organizing. This might be a little bit too much information, but I had several years not needing any of those supplies, and now I need them again. So I had to find a place to store them. So I just had to move some things around and decide what we could get rid of in that one particular bin. And using Dana K. White's container method, picking a container that I wanted to use for those supplies and then just making them fit. And the extras I can store somewhere else in the house and just kind of refill them on a monthly basis or whenever I need to. If you are following along, this is week 3, and my goal is to declutter 1,000 items before the end of the year. I had wanted to do it in about a month, but I ended up hurting myself and I was down for a couple of weeks, really unable to do anything. So now I'm just kind of taking things slow. This week was actually a bit of a challenge for me. I just did not have the energy or motivation to get a lot done, but you'll see that I still pushed through. I gave myself kind of a little pep talk and I just said, let's give it 20 minutes and just see what you're able to get done. Not this day, but a different day during the week. I really did not want to do anything. I didn't feel like doing any decluttering at all. But I am super glad that I kind of just pushed through. I gave myself about 20 minutes and I spent about an hour, and I really did feel better getting it done. There's just something about getting the house cleared out in the fall. I just feel like we spend so much time, so much more time in our homes in the colder months, and I just really wanted it to be cleared out so I'm able to relax and enjoy the holidays. I like to do a lot of baking and just spending time with the kids. I'd like to be able to just relax with them, watch a movie, go do something, and I don't have to worry about always cleaning the house because honestly, when it's decluttered and everything has a place to go, it's pretty easy to keep on top of. I don't really have too much of a mess these days in the house, which is really an amazing thing. If I want to sit down and watch a little bit of TV during the day, or if I want to go do something, I don't have a huge mess to worry about, and that has been such a wonderful thing to experience. I definitely wouldn't recommend always trying to declutter and clean at the same time. Sometimes that could be overwhelming. I know when I first started and I was just kind of starting out and everything was packed, just getting rid of things and trying to put them back in some sort of order was kind of all I could manage. But now that things are a little bit more manageable, and again, because I just haven't gone through these in several months, I wanted to take the time to kind of take out some of the bins, give them a quick wipe down, wipe out some of the drawers, just so that way I can kind of put it out of my head. I don't have to worry about it again for quite a while. And it felt good just to kind of get that stuff cleaned up. But if you're starting out with everything packed and you're overwhelmed, don't worry about cleaning everything. That's not the most important part. That'll come with time. Just see what you can get rid of to kind of clear out the space. And then as you go back over it a couple times, it'll just get easier each time. Like I said before, it's important to organize your space for your family and what's important to you. For me, it's important to have a back stock of some things like soap and toothpaste that we use all the time. So I like to keep this container here filled with soap, and then I have another one in the top of the closet that I'll usually fill with soap as well, and then I'll pull that down and put it into this bin and just kind of keep it rotating. And I also like to keep a couple extra like I buy like the bulk soap at BJ's, and I like to keep that in the basement. It's just something that's important to me. So you just kind of find what's important to you and your family and keep that stuff in your own space. So we've got 5 items in there that we're going to get rid of. I'm going to donate this, and the rest is trash. And then we've got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 items from the bathroom. And here we are, it's all done. It just feels so much better without all the mess, and it's all tidied and organized. We can easily get to things. And like I said, some of the other stuff I'm working through, and I won't be buying as much of some of that stuff. And then here are the drawers kind of all tidied up. I did not go through the kids' toothpaste drawer because they have that pretty well organized to how they want it. When they're ready, they can go through and get rid of things that they're not using. But the 2 boys actually use the drawer on the right for their toothpaste, and it works out great for them. And I just feel like this is functioning so much better now. And then the other cabinet over here, I put the toilet paper in later, so I just put that up there as well. We have had this Ninja Creamy on the counter for months, and I finally made some space in the closet to put it. I just had to take the time to take a couple things out and get rid of things that we were not using. And I wanted to show you that we had gone through this organization together before, and it is working out so great. I am super proud of the way that this functions. It makes my everyday life so much easier. And here's the 2 containers. Those were impulse buys that I should not have picked up in the first place. They're way too big for my refrigerator. If I use those for the fruit, there's no room for anything else. And then I just wanted to show you really quickly, I made up 4 chickens and made up some stock that we had just run out of. And then this was really late one night. I'm going to include this. I've gotten rid of 6 things in the refrigerator. This was probably 11 o'clock at night. I was getting ready to go to bed, and I just took a couple of seconds to clear out some things in the fridge that needed to go. And then this is kind of the rest of the week. This was the day that I just really did not want to get anything done. I had been feeling like that for a couple of days. I don't know, I was just feeling really down or tired, no energy. So I kind of just hit the easy button and promised myself that I would just do some easy tasks and get rid of some like low-hanging fruit to clear out of the house. That way, at least I was doing something productive for the decluttering with the bathroom this week. Like I said, I'm really just trying to make sure that I hit that 1,000-item declutter. And sometimes, even if you're not in the mood, you just have to muster up the energy to get some stuff done. Now, these cabinets also used to be a complete disaster. I mean, every single inch of these cabinets used to be full, and so many things were expired because I couldn't get to them. And it has been like this now for well over a year, and it's the only system that has worked for me, just to keep things much more minimal in these cabinets. Even in the pantry here, I have things that we use on a regular basis. Even though we do that, sometimes things get left half-eaten, and you just have to occasionally go through and get rid of those things. But for the most part, everything else in here gets used and rotated and put back, and that's why it works so well. I like to keep all of my backstock spices on that top shelf there, and that is what I use to refill a lot of the items in my spice cabinet. And then we just keep a couple other random things in here. I think I'm going to go back and get rid of those seaweed. I'm not sure. I finally tried it for the first time. I had picked them up from Thrive, and I do not like it at all, and neither does my youngest son, but the 16-year-old actually likes it. So here we are again, just taking a couple minutes to clear out a few items can make all the difference in the world, even if you don't really feel like it. It's okay just to kind of, you don't have to take everything out. You can just go through and pick out the things that are no longer serving you or your family. A few other items that were super easy to declutter. These wine glasses actually came in a gift basket that I had gotten, and we kept them just because my husband said, well, what if we ever want a glass of wine? We never drink wine. We don't really drink anything at all for alcohol, and we definitely do not drink wine. So I'm going to get rid of those. These two drawers are mostly my husband's, and I actually did not include these things in the count, but they're just wrappers that have been driving me crazy because I knew that they were in there. So I just wanted to go out and clear out some of the wrappers just for my own peace of mind, and I didn't even include them in the numbers at the end, but it still made me feel better just to kind of empty some of that stuff out. And I've also been keeping some of my PT stuff in there, like my bands and my exercises and things like that. This was another thing that was super easy to get done. It only took a couple of minutes, even though I didn't want to do anything. This basket has been in our bedroom probably since the beginning of summer. I had taken it out of one of my son's closets. It had some of our summer items on it, and because it was just sitting there, it of course collected all of the other clothes that just got kind of tossed on top, which is what seems to happen anytime there's something like this. That's why I prefer not to keep anything like this in the room. The only thing that I do want to get is a basket, and I've been looking for months for the right one, and I'm not going to buy anything until it's the one that I want, but just a basket to keep the blanket that I keep on top of our bed. But other than that, I just feel like anything like this is going to easily collect clutter and clothes. Instead of just putting them away, they get thrown on here. So what I ended up doing, because my husband wasn't home, was I put all of my clothes away in the closet where they belonged, and then the rest I just put in there, and I put it back in the closet that never gets used because my husband wasn't home. So I put everything else where it needed to go. These are some things that I'm going to just put away in the closet, but it looks so much better. I'm going to get rid of that plastic tub. We cleared that out last week. It just had some summer stuff, so I'm going to put that in the basement, and then this space is once again cleared off. One area that kind of annoys me is this here. I like to keep my extra lids and some canning supplies, but it just always looks so messy. So I'm going to see if I can switch it over. I like to keep it up there so it's accessible, but I'm going to switch it into this bin that I had just sitting in the closet downstairs. I used it in my bathroom in the past, but when we redid it, it just wasn't, it couldn't fit it. There wasn't a need for it. So I'm thinking I could switch these things into that, and it'll just look a little nicer to leave up there. Okay. Yeah. Just a little bit less clutter looking at it. And then I like to keep the lunch boxes up there. They don't look that great, but they are convenient up there. And then I keep my plastic wrap up there as well. I probably could move that into a cabinet, but for now it's okay. So let's see what we have for this week. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 items of trash. 11, 12, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So because I already did the 22 when we did the bathroom, I had to find one more item to check off the 23. So I'm going to donate these sneakers that I just don't like anymore. So 23 items for today. Let's get those crossed off. I really do hope that you're doing this along with me. It feels amazing just to even get little amounts of things out of the house before the new year. It always feels so much lighter in the house. So hopefully you're joining along. This is week 3 and I will see you next week. Take care. Bye.